Hi everyone, my name is Beth Driver and welcome to week 4 of Mark Twain Literature 404. We've reached the midpoint of our course, so congratulations. I have most of your first essays and I'll have those graded by Friday. A few of you have not handed in your essay. Please do so as soon as possible if you would like to have a grade for that essay. Now, I have gone through a couple of your essays and I've been very pleased. Clearly, you have been reading the novel and the assigned readings for this course. So far, it's just been Huckleberry Finn. But I like the fact that you've also been thinking critically about the work, going beyond plot discussion. Clearly, most of you are experienced writers, and again, very happy. I'll get those back to you as soon as I can, probably before Friday. Take a look at my comments. If you have any questions or concerns about my comments or concerns with your essay, please send me a message. I'm more than happy to help you at any point of this course. And any case, we're moving on to week 4, and we're going to be discussing some of Mark Twain's humor. Now, when we think of humor, we think of possibly, and I'm not saying we as in all of us, but sometimes we have a tendency to think of stand-up comedy, something that's rather silly, funny. For example, we all know this particular story. If you haven't, you're going to know it soon enough. It's very easy to find. Just go ahead and Google it, and you'll find this particular story everywhere. It is very funny. It's almost like an extended joke, and it was Twain's first real famous work, and so it's an important one for you to be familiar with. I find this almost like stand-up comedy. It's just a hilarious piece. And the next one that's very funny to me is Fenimore Cooper's Literary Offenses. I don't know if any of you've read The Last of the Mohicans or The Prairie or any of Fenimore Cooper's, any of his other works. He was a quintessential American writer. During the early part of the 19th century. He was very famous, made a lot of money through his writings. He wrote basically, it's kind of like almost like a Western vibe to it, where there's the hero and then there's a sidekick, and the hero is of European descent and the sidekick is Native American, and they go off on adventures. And his stories are quite exciting. If you haven't read The Last of the Mohicans, you've probably seen the movie. Well, he also has a tendency to be very, very long-winded. And so this work kind of makes fun of his Fenimore Cooper's writing style. And I actually find it hilarious. So, I hope you enjoy it as well. So those are two of Twain's works that are funny. Now, and also How to Tell a Story is funny as well. However, there are a few works here that aren't funny. A Dog's Tale, for example, to me is very sad. And it shows a dog who is unselfish, kind, giving to his owners, but the humans in this particular story are not kind, are not unselfish, are not moral in a way. And it's humor, but it's satirical. And basically, Mark Twain is making a comment about the human race. And we'll see his views on the human race become even more heightened as the course moves forward. But it is something to think about as we move forward in this course. His views on humanity in A Dog's Tale, his views on religion in this particular tale, and his views on American imperialism in this particular tale, or essay really. Now, this essay is similar to The War Prayer. I don't know if any of you had to read that in Literature 221, but it is speaking out against American imperialism, which was coming to the forefront in the turn of the 20th century. And this wasn't published until later. So that's one of his later works. Now, this one is actually speaking out against feminism and the role of women in society. This one's actually kind of funny. But in any case, when I'm speaking of humor this week for the forums, I'm not necessarily speaking of stand-up comedy. I'm speaking of satire as well. And through the satire, Twain reveals his views on life, on religion, on societal roles, on America's role in the world, and on religion, which I may have already said. But in any case, so keep that in mind. You may not find these stories funny. It's more, some of them are more satirical. And then in the forums this week, so let me move ahead. Hopefully my computer will jump to it. But in any case, in the forums this week, you're still going to use a bit of Huckleberry Finn. And make sure to read the lesson. Let's jump one more ahead. So you're going to use Huckleberry Finn again, and then you're going to use a Twain story of your choice. And I'll clarify in the forums that I mean the stories from the lesson. So you're going to broach both of them together, and then you're going to say what this sort of humor reveals about Mark Twain, and what can we learn about his views of society, of people, of religion, and so on. Okay, so it's a fairly easy week, but note that next week you do have an essay due. It's short story two, short essay two, excuse me. I think you're going to find that this particular essay is a little bit easier than the first one. However, if you have any questions about it, please let me know. I do want to, and I'll clarify this on the assignment directions, when you choose a quotations from one of the quotations from Mark Twain, make sure you choose one that actually is attributed to Mark Twain and not necessarily one that is rumored to be attributed to Mark Twain. I really want you to choose a quotation that he wrote. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'll clarify that in the assignment, but I really, really, really want you to choose a quotation from Mark Twain. Okay? Also note that you can use first person in this next essay. So that's kind of a treat. At least I think that's a treat. But if you have any questions or concerns about any of the assignments this week or my comments to you about your essay, just send me a note. I'll be more than happy to help you. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you soon.